Have a court order, please, and roll call. All five supervisors are present this evening. Our township manager is, our township solicitor, our fire police chief, our code enforcement officer, our director of planning and zoning, and our administrative clerk. I don't hope I didn't miss anyone. I think we're all inclusive on this. First, I'd like to welcome everyone. We always appreciate your attendance. Keep on coming. We like contact with the community, so the more the merrier. And it's always good to see everyone who, particularly those who are very interested in what's going on in the monthly meetings for the South Urbane Township. We're going to pledge of allegiance, but just before we do it, would you please stand? And just before we do the pledge of allegiance, I would like to, it's Memorial Day yesterday, have a moment of silence for our fallen soldiers. So you please bow your head for a brief moment. Thank you. Let's have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Public comment time. The Township Board of Supervisors allocates a period of time during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on any matter. Each person addressing the Board of Supervisors is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Mr. Ziegler, we have anybody? Or?
We do have one person signed in, Beth Ann Hodges from Farley Road.
Good evening. I know I'm supposed to, but I'm having difficulty standing very long.
Go right ahead.
If you don't mind,
No, I don't. No, we don't mind.
Beth Ann Hodges, 16 Farley, up on the street over here, about the mirror and not being able to see at the intersection. Last time I was here last month, you said you had permission to change the speed limit. However, changing the speed limit would just only change if I get hit or when I get hit. I might have to buy a mask. And it doesn't change the fact that you can't see coming out of that intersection. Let alone a day like today when it's raining, on the mirror that is there, there's no visibility when it's raining, when there's condensate on it. On a good day, you can see maybe 50 feet. A bad day, you can't see anything.
Mr. Ziegler, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I could say last month I reported that PennDOT agreed to do a speed limit study on Locust Avenue. They were supposed to get us a report back within a week, which I think I commented at that time. It was probably pretty quick for PennDOT standards, but they actually did get us a report back the following week, which is really good for PennDOT. And what it came back saying, though, was that they authorized a reduction of the speed limit on Locust Avenue in that area from 35 miles per hour to 25 miles an hour. The township is responsible for purchasing and putting the signs up. Staff is looking at where those signs need to be located. They have to be located in the proper place. Otherwise, you cite somebody for speeding, they go to the magistrate, and that's one of the details that if it's not right, the case could get thrown out. So that's where we stand right now as far as the speed limit signs go.
Mr. Chairman, last week I went over to Farley. I had some time because Ms. Hodges was here last month. You know, we've paid the engineer to look at it. We've paid the solicitor to fight PennDOT for a right to know to find out what's going on. Lowering the speed limit's not going to help anything because there's a sign on the turn that says 20 miles an hour on the turn. So the only way we're going to solve this problem, and I'd like to suggest that we put this on the agenda for next month. I did stop and meet with the property owner, and she told me what her boundaries would be, and I met with Kevin on site, and it would work, is to shave the bank back, provide a sight line for this to work. Mr. Ziegler, when the last time you were there, you remember how difficult it was to pull out of. It's almost, if you're turning left, you just say a prayer first. If you're turning right, you hit the pedal. So I think we've had enough issues there. it's time for the township to do the right thing by these people. And it's time for the township to get with the engineer and tell us where the cuts need to be. Shave that bank off, and I would suggest shaving the other side too, because the line of sight there is slightly better, but not as good as it should be. Are we gonna wait till somebody gets killed and do it? Are we gonna wait till somebody gets injured? You know, it just needs done. You know, we have the ability to do it all in-house. I would, like I said, I'd like to put it on the agenda for next month. I'd like for us to get the engineer to get with Kevin. I'm glad to be a part of it. See what we need to do, meet with the property owner. She said you can do whatever you want. There's 2 trees she wanted saved. She said everything else can go. It's the only way we're gonna solve this problem. And if everybody's in favor of that, put it on the agenda next month. Maybe the engineer could have met with Kevin, Jeff, or me, whoever, you know, whoever, and let's fix it. Let's quit buying Band-Aids and fix it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Are you talking our engineer or
Yeah.
PennDOT's engineer?
Our engineer.
Engineer. When we met there, our engineer said shaving the bank back wouldn't do anything.
Well, Kevin and I disagree with him.
I do too, but
Well, then,
tell you what our engineer said.
Okay,
We met there.
thanks for that information.
Thank you.
We'll go to his advice and we'll take another look at it, okay? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Anyone else, Mr. Ziegler?
No, it was the only one that signed it.
Okay, anybody on Zoom? No, not tonight. Okay, let's move on then. Meeting minutes, number 4. Need a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the Board of Supervisors, April 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you. I need a second, please.
second,
Thank you, Mr. Bull. Any further discussion or any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 5, financial business. Approval of the payrolls for the periods of March 30, 2025 through April 12, 2025, April 13, 2025 through April 26, 2025, and April 27th through May 10th, 2025, and bills for the period April 19th, 2025 through May 23, 2025. Need a motion,
So
please.
moved.
Thank you, Mr. Moreau. Need a second.
Second.
I got a question.
Thank me. Just a minute. George, there a second? Okay, discussion. Go ahead, Jeff.
I see we bought an exhaust extraction system for $99,900. You know, I probably we needed, but that building doesn't belong to the township. And I don't care if it did come from a grant or not.
Was this CoStarz approved or anything? And the sums came from it's grant money,
Correct.
but the grant money came to the township.
A federal AFG grant. Correct.
Should that not have been approved by the board prior to purchase?
The grant was approved and supported by the board 2 years ago when we applied for it.
Right, but anytime there's an expenditure like that, I think that should come before the board.
This was budgeted 2 cycles ago.
I know, I've heard that, and with all due respect, when people say it's budgeted, doesn't mean you get to spend it. It means you still should come before the board.
It did go before the board twice at this point,
You need to buy it.
in 2024 and 2025 budget preparation.
I understand, but that's budget, but anytime you buy something, that should be a line item to purchase.
We had this discussion when the skid loader and excavator were bought. You know.
So, Mr. Baker, what do we do here?
Well, it's on it, it's on it is it something to, it's CoStar, which is good.
Correct.
And it's also, we're affirming the payment, the purchase, correct?
Right.
So we're affirming, we should be fine. We just make the motion to affirm it. When you make the bill pay, it should be fine.
That's what we've done already right here, Mr. Maple.
I
We
understand.
have a first and second, so once we pass this motion, we approve.
That affirms everything.
Right.
The,
The capital purchasing was in the budget and we approved the budget for this capital purchase. We did approve this.
But Mr. Miguel's saying that's not, which now you throw a real monkey, so.
I'm just
when
saying,
we
whenever
buy
you
our-
spend,
We buy our excavator and we never reapproved them. We budgeted for them.
Did you buy them?
Yeah.
And we went through the
Whatever,
budget.
we-
and we made
whatever,
sure-
that's why we
Okay,
budget
that's
stuff.
not how I'm used to seeing it done.
It, just for some background, this cancer among firefighters is one of the leading causes of death. Our fire stations are extremely antiquated in that we don't have an exhaust removal system, which is why the federal government agreed to pay for this. So we got a grant in the amount of $155,000 to pay for this about 2 years ago. And again, this is paid for by federal AFG money, and we have a 5% match in which we're splitting 50-50 with the volunteer fire company. And we have full-time firefighters that are in our stations 24/7.
So, but if you make a motion to approve it, then it should be fine, but a lot of different places, they want that as a line item on the agendas. That's how some places do it.
Okay.
But once you make the motion to approve the bill, you should be fine.
Okay, we've already made the motion, had a second, had our discussion. Anybody else want to talk to it? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, number 6. George, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you're not ready, are you ready with a presentation for PSAP or not?
It's not, it's just a talk of, if you want a presentation, I can
No,
do it
I don't
next
need
month.
it. Just to kind of give an overview. Here's the way it is, folks. Some of our folks, in fact, 3 went this year to PSAT State Conference for supervisors. And for 2 years in a row now, we've designated George Roan as our delegate to the touch, which carries extra responsibility. He goes up there. In other words, he has to go to the meetings and he has to do all the work. So, and we like that. And George is very good about that. And generally, I want to follow up and give you a brief presentation or a few words on what you did up there. But if you're not prepared this month, you can do it next month.
Whatever,
Are you prepared to say something now?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead then.
okay. I was the representative for South Strabane Township at PSATS this year. It was really interesting. The 2 takeaways that I wanted to bring up tonight were the continued effort to take zoning away from townships and make it a state level. And I thought it was going to go away last year, but this year it's still being talked about. They're still signing petitions, and the reason that I heard was instead of having a house and a yard, they want to see how many houses you can put on that same, and the state wants to take control and put high impact, high residency in the same amount of property. And so PSATS is totally against the state taking over, and they want just the townships to take care of that. There was a great big petition. I sent Jeff the pictures of this huge petition that everybody was signing. And the second one was
George, let me interrupt. Our PSAP membership was opposing it, right?
opposing.
Okay,
Yes,
all
yeah,
right.
they want the zoning to stay right
With us.
with us, with the townships. They know the property, they know how things should be done, and
Okay.
they want it that way. The second takeaway that I had was fire departments. Pretty much every session had something to do with fire departments, either retention, recruitment, even in the roundtable discussion for townships between 5 and 10,000, it reverted back. Jeff was even in on that one. It reverted back to fire departments. I was quite shocked to find out that the average fireman puts 5 years in. Now, gone are the days, I guess, that,
You talk about volunteers or paid?
volunteers, yeah.
Volunteers,
And so recruitment seems to be a big thing. And yeah, I'm going to reach out more with the state. The person that did the facilitating of that meeting and on how to get more recruitment and have some further discussion with her. And I can give you guys updates as I speak with her. She's very knowledgeable, but it really shocked me when the question started, how many people need 5 minutes to get an ambulance or a fire? And hands went up, 10 minutes. Some more hands went up, and it's went all the way up to like, how many people are waiting 40 to 45 minutes for a fire truck or an ambulance to show up? And there was hands showing up. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. So, I mean, I think the sooner that regional fire departments, I mean, they're trying to combine because they don't have the recruitment and they don't have the retention to hold firemen. And that shocked me. And I think I'm going to pursue looking at seeing how regional or countywide fire departments function. I don't know how it works, but that was really an eye opener that people in the state of Pennsylvania are waiting 45 minutes for an ambulance or a fire truck. It's, yeah, really shocked me. But I'll give you updates when I get them.
Hey, George, one more thing. You may not want to talk about this, but you know, we have a South Strabane Township flag, and George was nice enough.
Oh.
How about the PSAT conference? They have a parade of flags. And that's where our board got the original idea to develop our own flag. We did a couple of years ago with the middle school kids. And George went up there and paraded across that stage.
Yeah, last year there was probably 15 to 20 people that did it. And this year I was number 32, and there was
growing there.
Yeah, there was 10 or 15 people behind me. So yeah, if I'm going to try and get the pictures that the photographer took.
Okay, good.
And we can maybe put it in the newsletter or
Hey,
something.
George, thanks for being a delegate. Thanks for taking care of that flag parade. And thanks for this presentation. I
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it.
George, and you have a really good source for accommodation for regional. Scott Effinger came from a pretty big one, didn't you, Scott, down in Frederick, Maryland, the whole county?
Ooh, yeah,
Just throwing that out there. That
yeah,
he's-
good.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, I serve on the recruitment and retention committee for the state. So if you
Yeah,
ever want to talk, once again,
okay,
doors always open.
okay. Do you know Tammy or Christy, maybe?
Works for the state fire commissioner.
Okay. She's pretty sharp cookie.
We also had Mark Murphy and Jeff Bull also attended the PSAT conference this year. And I even though we asked George to do the presentation because he serves our delegate, Mark, you have anything to add, or Jeff, you want to go ahead?
Good. I mean, some of the classes are great, some of them aren't so great, but it's an enjoyable time and you learn a lot. So that's why I go. Wish they did more classes.
Yeah.
I wish there's a hell of a lot more classes in our time. The classes this year I thought were way better than last year. The people doing all the presentations were people qualified to do them. And that part I enjoyed. It's good to look at the equipment and as technology changes, but it all costs money, big money.
One more item before I leave this particular topic. George mentioned about the hard to get a fire truck or an ambulance out there, or either or one or both. And I would say to you folks here right now, you probably all know it by now because I talk enough about it. We're very fortunate to have the fire chief we do, because we've got a paid fire or career. What do you call them? Paid or career? What do we call them now? Career firefighters, plus his recruitment for volunteers. How many you got now in there, volunteers now? I mean, that's unbelievable. The fire departments can't recruit. They can't. But this guy with this program.
People would be tickled to have that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I just want to, once again, throw it out there. I commend them for the fine work you do as far as bringing in those volunteers. Okay, Michelle. You ready or not? I know you're not here, but I'm gonna ask you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Robleski, and I am the chairperson for our Parks and Rec Commission here in the township. And some things I wanted to talk about. We had a recent bus trip that went to see The Wizard of Oz. We had a decent turnout for that. Everyone had a great time. We do have another bus trip coming up in November to go to see Light Up Night in Pittsburgh, and they'll also be taking a cruise around the river. There'll be dinner and dancing, and it's a cash bar or cashless bar, so make sure you have your card if you tend to take advantage of that. We have Kennywood tickets that are on sale, and I want to point this out. I seen an astonishing ad on Facebook the other day that, like, I was astounded by it. It costs a family $75 to go to Kennywood, which I think that's a lot of money. And trying to take a family of four, I think it comes up in the neighborhood of $229 to take your family there. And that's not counting food and other activities you're going to do there. The township now has tickets on sale here at the township building for $32. That's less than half of what it would cost you to go to Kennywood. So if you live in the township and you plan on going to Kennywood, make sure you get tickets from us.
Hey, Michelle, that's 32 for everyone?
It's 32. Yes, it's a flat fee of $32, and it lasts all summer. And there's no extra fee if you go on the weekend.
Okay.
And you have to pay by cash. And the reason why that they do that is because some residents have asked about that. It's because if we collect a check from you that you pay us for the tickets and you get in your car and you go down to Kennywood and that check bounces, we're eating that money. So that's why it's cash. We also have movie night coming up on the 21st. We'll be playing Wicked along with the fire department. They'll be there to help us set up the movie, get the screen going, and do the sound system. Cooley Schoolie will be there, and it's going to take place at Billy Bell Park. So, and the movie will start at dusk. So we hope to see a lot of you there. Spread the word. And we have future movie nights that will be coming up in August and September. We'll be showing How to Train a Dragon and Wild Robot. So, and there'll be more information about that later. And of course, we have Community Day that's coming up on July 19th. I'm sure if you drove up here today, you've seen our sign out there. We want to get the word out. And we are so pleased to announce that we have 17 independent vendors joining us this year, that we're up 4 from, we only had 4 last year. This year we have 17. And we also, we have so many sponsors this year. We have 2 gold sponsors, which is Washington Financial Bank and Swanee Broughton Bus Company. And Swanee Broughton's also paid for a vendor space. We also have 2 silver sponsors, the Murphy family and Makel. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
I did. I don't even.
Well, thank you anyways. You can do it again if you like. So
I just signed checks.
And we have 2 bronze sponsors, which is Sam's Club and Freedom Transit. And just today, I checked our email. We have another one. We have another bronze sponsor. It's First Federal of Greene County. They'll be sponsoring us this year. We've gotten donations from the Washington Country Club, the Washington Health System, and Hapchucks is once again going to provide us with the Porta-Johns and the wash station for our event. And we have a business vendor, JD Sellers wants to come this year and bring their slushy mobile. So we hope that can be approved by the township supervisors, that we could have that vendor be there. We're excited about that. So, and we have activities. There'll be a DJ, there'll be bingo. We have Wild World of Animals coming again. I think she's bringing the sloth this year. We have the food trucks. And this year we have an escape room. So it's little mobile escape room that's coming. And we have, what else? We have Of course, we have the big kids area. The girls that are on the committee for the kids area have like come up with some really neat ideas for these kids. So I'm excited about that. But please mark your calendar, save that date and come out and see us on the 19th at Community Park. It's from 11 to 5. And I am so happy to tell you that the handicap swing that we purchased, the frame has been installed out at Community Park. I'm not sure if the swing is there yet. I haven't been out there yet to see if it was completed. I'm sure the weather has a lot to do with it. It hasn't been real cooperative. It's been raining nonstop for, I don't know for how long. And then the other swing will be installed. It's probably going to be installed at Driscoll because the size of the frame, I'm not sure if it's going to fit over at Billy Bell, but we're excited about that. It definitely will be ready by Community Day. So for our residents to take advantage of that.
Hey, Michelle, excellent lineup. Excellent
you.
lineup. Sounds very interesting.
Well, there's more to come too. So
Okay. I thank you and your entire commission.
yep,
Great job.
we're having a blast, and I'm so happy that with this just being our second community day, it has grown this much in just 1 year. So
Okay.
yep.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot, Michelle.
Well,
Okay. Mr. Ziegler, just in case I mess up, did you have any announcements at all down there?
No, but when we get to my report, almost everything that
Okay.
I had on there has been covered.
Okay, good.
So that'll make my report shorter, which is probably good, right?
Well, if you want to, go ahead. You can do it.
No, I'll wait my turn.
Okay.
Wait my turn, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be here.
All right, number 7, township reports and presentations. Letter A, municipal separate storm sewer system MS4 report. The Board of Supervisors allocates a period of time during this item for comments regarding the topic of stormwater. Each person addressed to the Board of Supervisors is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Do we have anyone that would like to speak to that particular topic? And also, Kelsey, will you check the Zoom in case anyone's on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
Nobody's on Zoom? No one? Okay, thank you. All right, now we'll move on to the letter B, Township Manager Report.
Okay, so it turns out I have one item to report on. The PA Resource Council, which is a nonprofit organization, is holding a household tire and waste collection event. It'll be Saturday, June 28th from 9 to 1 at the Washington Crown Center. Be clear on this, the registration, you have to register in advance. That's free. But if you have anything that you're trying to get rid of, they'll charge you to get rid of that. For example, a tire on a regular passenger vehicle with no rim would be $6, which is actually probably a pretty decent deal if you're trying to get rid of one in a different way. $14 if the tire is part of a rim, has a rim in it. And then a little bit more if they're larger tires. And they'll also take chemicals such as paint, pesticides, automotive fluids like oil and so forth. For that, they'll charge you $20 for 10 gallons or 50 pounds of material. So if you need to get rid of some of that stuff and want to get rid of it in the proper way, this is an option for you. Like I said, it's not free, but it's reasonably priced, I think. So, and they'll accept cash card or check the day of the event. If you want to go to www.prc.org, you can get some more details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And the Secretary Treasury report, I do submitted that information to all of us. I just want to point out one thing on that, Mr. Ziegler. I want to thank you for sending out thank you letters to the people who served on our Traffic Impact Committee this year. And as the folks may or may not know, we passed a traffic impact fee program some time ago that the board has approved recently. But thank you for sending those letters out. Show appreciation for those folks. Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I could just draw your attention to, there's a letter in the Secretary Treasurer's report, actually an email we received from a resident regarding the cardboard recycling center. I just wanted to make sure everyone saw that. I don't know if she's expecting a response from me or
That's a
not.
point of discussion for us at a later date.
Okay.
Okay.
Was it the cardboard or the
Cardboard.
glass?
The cardboard. Well, there's one in there for the
Okay,
glass
so-
and there's one in there for the cardboard.
Oh, you mean the other one about how messy it is?
Yeah, about how
Okay,
the things
got
are
it.
filled and the cardboard blows everywhere.
Township Solicitor, Mr. Makel.
My office has been involved in a number of different items such as planning, doing resolutions, doing agreements. So it's been a busy month, but that's about the extent of it.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Makel. Okay, Rob, Township Engineer. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you this evening?
Good.
A couple updates. Mark, on the Burkett Manor item you brought to my attention last week, I did go out and look at it. I do need to follow up with him and find out the rest of that story. So as soon as I find out, I'll let you know.
Okay.
On Meadows Landing, quick update on that. They have completed repairs to the final pond that they owed us. I need to pull together a letter that just basically says that they've satisfied the requirements for the time being. So those two items have been kind of taken care of. Update on the station 44-1 ADA improvements. We had a pre-bid meeting last Friday, and the bid opening is scheduled for June 6th, which is next Friday. We do have 7 plan holders, which is a good number for that project. We need to follow up with them. We didn't have a great attendance at the pre-bid meeting, but it wasn't mandatory, and it was a Friday morning before a holiday weekend, so I'm not necessarily concerned about it at this time. So, but we will reach out to the contractors and make sure we get a good group to provide bids for that. Beyond that, I think those are the high points I wanted to touch on this month, unless there are any additional questions.
Any of the board members have questions? George?
No.
Russ?
What is the issue with the sidewalk?
Hold on, Jeff, for a minute. Mark, did you say yes or no?
I said no.
Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
What is the issue with the sidewalks at Burkett Manor?
So the sidewalks at Burkett Manor were installed at a 4-foot width, and your ordinance requires a 5-foot width. There is a reason for that, aesthetically in that particular area they're talking about. It just should have been taken care of as an approval matter.
Are we going to require them to remove them and put them in properly?
We've had a conversation with them about submitting for what's called
A variance.
modification variance. Yeah. So, I mean, the reason they went with a 4-foot was because of the utilities. If they can pretty much avoid all the utilities if they stick with a 4-foot width. If they go to a 5-foot width, any issue with the utility would disturb the sidewalks. So it doesn't seem like an unreasonable request.
But should they communicate that with the township manager before they did that or not? I mean, I would think the best, if you don't, Mr. Weber, I apologize, but I would think they should have communicated with Mr. Ziegler before they did something like that. Shouldn't they have done that?
Yeah, it wasn't determined that had occurred until after they were already constructed.
And how about the reinforcement? Is reinforcement consistent with the township ordinance?
Is not.
It's not?
Then
Does
they
not
need to
appear.
come out. I mean, I'm sorry. We have rules. Nobody in South Strabane seems to think they need to follow these rules. Everybody just does what they want. That needs to stop. I mean, they should have known what the right of way was for the utilities. It's their property. They set it up. They should have set it up. And the people that are buying those lots were promised a certain things. By us not doing, by us not making them fulfill their obligation to the township is letting the property owners down that bought that. And this needs to stop. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent over the sidewalks that were not installed in Strabane Manor? And we're still paying on that 20 years later.
Is the depth of the sidewalk consistent? I think it says 4 inches. or
It seems to
something.
be, yeah.
Yeah,
But Mr. Murphy, you said the reinforcement's not there?
They started putting it in now.
Yeah, it's
They wanna
questionable.
make-
It's
if
questionable where they
It's not
started and
questionable.
started.
Scott was there. I was there.
Yeah.
I watched them pour. If they would like to dig out one of the aprons. So there's two, first of all, there's sidewalks, which are supposed to be 4 inches thick, 5 foot wide with reinforcement. Now, unfortunately, our saldo doesn't say what type of reinforcement, whether that's wire mesh or rebar.
Right.
They have started to put rebar in. The aprons that go into every driveway are supposed to be 6 inches thick.
Correct.
With
Right.
6x6 9-gauge wire mesh. Now, I've been waiting for them. Scott's gonna let me know. I've been going up I want to see them pour an apron, whether they're using rebar or the wire mesh, I don't know. But all the ones that they had put in until what, 3 weeks ago, when
least
they
some-
got caught,
Yeah.
they started putting, I mean, I've been in, I've been there and I've been on them.
When I said it was questionable, there were certain areas that we weren't 100% sure, like,
Oh, I promise you, it's not the whole plan until they got caught. And they started putting it in.
Okay.
And I said, the township will pay. I'll tell them which apron to dig out. It's not 4 inches and it doesn't have wire mesh.
not
None of the
6 inches,
sidewalks
right.
had rebar, but I personally think that it should be wire mesh versus rebar. But our ordinance just says reinforced. So that goes back to an engineer.
Yeah, we would go
We
either
need to
way on
change
that.
that in our
Right.
sign.
But don't we have an inspector on site to check this stuff out?
We do not.
Mr.
We've been going back and forth about all this.
When you get a chance.
I'll let you talk. Go ahead, George.
So the master plan, does the master plan mirror what the township ordinance is? I mean, they should be, if there's no inspector,
The
there should
master-
at least be a master plan.
The
that they
master
can
plan
go-
shows the 4 foot wide.
It shows it 4
It does
foot wide.
Yeah,
Where does it show that at?
it shows it on the sidewalk, the plans for the sidewalks. They're set
That
up
little-
exactly
that
the way they're
little teeny
drawn.
drawing you're telling me?
Yeah, the overall site plan that shows the sidewalks.
I saw
believe.
I saw 4 inches thick concrete. I never saw a width.
There was the detail piece, but I thought the widths were shown on the site.
They
plan.
were
I don't know off
not.
the top of my head.
They were not.
So you're telling me that whoever reviewed the plans for the township didn't catch that?
I don't want to speak to that. I don't know.
Well, that needs to come out, needs to be put in right. So the first time a fire truck, for example, needs to go up on the sidewalk for a safety reason, and the sidewalk fails, is the township going to get sued? Or if a township truck has to go up on the sidewalk to do some work, and the sidewalk fails, is the township going to have to pay to repair it, or a moving truck, or somebody delivering water? I mean, there's a reason for this stuff. Let's do it right.
Hey, Jeff. Well, we had Mr. Mickle had written him a letter to, tell us what's in the letter.
It's basically, after I spoke to Mr. Ziegler about it, he brought to my attention and he had concerns. So the concept was to send a letter to the developer or the agent of the developer saying what your ordinance requires, because your ordinance requires a 5 foot wide, at least 4 inches deep, except when you go to the aprons. The apron's a little bit different. Plus you are supposed to have rebar and so forth. What I find somewhat upsetting is the fact that the developer should have contacted Mr. Ziegler to just say, can I go through the process? But we have to find out after the fact. But we did send a letter. I don't know. I have not received a written response. Has he been in touch with you?
No.
But it is concerned because we had a lawsuit we just settled regarding sidewalks.
I mean, seriously, there were tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on those sidewalks as Bay Manor, and here we are again, the second from the next project, and we're not doing anything about it. This is just wrong.
If you want, Mr. Weber, Mr. Ziegler and I, Mr. Weber, Mr. Ziegler, myself, township engineer, maybe Kristen, we can put our heads together and see how we can handle this matter, but it is a concern.
Okay. Anything else?
I got one.
Hold on. Russ has a question.
Reinforced concrete. Would fiberglass concrete be considered reinforced?
Yes, it is.
Do you get to see the concrete slips?
No, I don't. We aren't there when they're pouring sidewalks.
So we need to, like Mark said, that.
I don't,
It's
they're not
fiber.
reinforced with
I
fiberglass.
finished too much concrete.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
can't
know.
hide the fibers.
They're not
It's
fiberglass,
finished
yeah.
too well. It's not.
Well, we need to
It's not-
define.
And that's not identified anywhere that's an acceptable substitute for sidewalks,
Okay,
at least in developments.
well, it needs to say in the solid exactly
It needs, we
what
need to
needs
change
to
it.
be in there, because
Yeah.
reinforced concrete could be anything.
Hey, Rob, this is not a settled issue, okay? This is something still the board has to decide on. And we're gonna wait for a
Right.
response for Dennis plus his meeting, what we need to come up with.
Yeah.
You remember what we discussed up there the other day on the hillside?
Yeah.
You remember what Terry's gonna do and so forth, but that may not be the answer for the board.
Correct,
They
right.
might want to go another way, okay?
Yeah.
So once we gather all that in his proposal, when Mr. Mickle gets back and they have a short meeting here, this is still an unresolved issue that we gotta,
Correct.
but we'll need you involved in, okay?
Understood.
So it has to, we can't let that one just slide by. Okay, anything else on your agenda?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, everybody get a chance to ask questions? Thank you, Rob.
Sure thing.
Okay. Okay, unfinished business. There is none. Number 9, new business. Motion approving lowest qualified bid for the purchase of diesel fuel and DEF.
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Go ahead.
I wish I could buy it at that.
Okay. Okay, good.
210 for diesel fuel is pretty good.
I thought it was
Just-
212, yeah, very good.
Very good. Okay, any other discussion, any other comments? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Letter B, motion to approve a resolution authorizing destruction of specific public records. And Mr. Ziegler, would you just give a brief thing of what we're doing here? Every so often, we dispose of certain records. Would you explain it
Yeah.
to the folks?
So in 2018, the supervisors passed a resolution, it was 11-18, which is a resolution declaring that the township intends to follow the schedules and procedures for disposition of township records, which is in accordance with the state municipal records manual. Resolutions to dispose of records aren't required. It's an extra step. It's one that we do here for record keeping purposes. And that's what is on the agenda this evening is a resolution to destroy certain public records. If you're familiar with the manual, it talks about the types of records and how long you're required to keep those for. This group of records being proposed to be destroyed under this resolution, old recycling program records from 2001 to 2009, old accounts payable records from 2013 to 2017, bank statements from 2015 to 2017, and then some CD statements from 2012 to 2017. All of those records are older than the amount of time you're required to keep them under the manual. So they're overdue to be disposed of.
Okay, good. Thank
I'll
you.
make a motion.
Thank you. Need a second, please. We have a second? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Grego. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Motion carries 4-1. Okay, let's go letter C. Motion to approve final land development from Washington County Transit Authority, DBA Freedom Transit, to construct the Washington County Transit Authority operations facility bus depot at 375 Berry Road, parcel number 600-000-00-00-0024-005 in the Industrial 1 Light Industrial Zoning District, subject to the execution of a developers agreement. Give a brief synopsis of what's going on here, Mr. Ziegler, to get it started.
Yeah, so, yes, this is a motion to approve a final land development application for Freedom Transit, a bus depot on Ferry Road. It was on, let's see, April 22nd meeting, the supervisors granted a conditional use approval to operate a bus depot at that location. At the May 1st, 2025 meeting, the Planning Commission reviewed the information and they recommended the board grant final land development approval subject to certain conditions. You'll see them in your packet, but just to recap, they wanted to see the elevations of the building, the floor plan of the building, and the geotechnical report, all of which have been received to date. There were 2 other items, a waiver request to the slope requirement. A waiver request has been submitted that the engineers are working through together on what they would do differently than what the ordinance requires. And then the final condition was a holding tank permit for sewage disposal. And that brings us to this evening.
Ziegler or more?
No, that brings us to this evening.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to table until, did you guys get anything from the Washington County SOAR Council yet that you're allowed?
Yep.
Have we received that as a township?
No, we're working on a holding tank agreement at the moment, because that's required before the sewage council will issue a permit.
And I think my office did something today.
They
sent
did,
a-
but they still want us to compare a couple of things. So we'll get that voting tank agreement to them. And they'll provide that to the sewage council, and that is required prior to them getting a permit issued.
And the question I have, Mr. Weber, is also, they're requesting a variance. I know we don't have a motion on the floor yet, really. Did you make a motion to table?
I just moved a motion for that reason and the grading,
And I'll second.
that we are supposed to see that before we
Oh, there's,
approve it, and we've never seen either.
they're,
You want to
That's
hold that
super.
till he talks? You
Oh,
want-
yeah, no,
they're,
no.
Hold it till we
they're
talk.
requesting a variance, correct, of our,
No, it would be a waiver.
well, variance waive, what do we call, because we sent over an
I don't even think they're requesting waivers.
well, they're requesting something because I've seen the litany of emails going back and forth from you, Mr. Finch, about this slope situation.
It's a wall.
Is it a
It's a
wall?
wall.
Because we weren't certain because we sent you an email.
I got a memo from, and I responded to your. Received a memo from the geotechnical consultant, classifying, clarifying that the soil pins are a wall.
When did you send that over? Late today or?
I sent it to you, but I actually forwarded up, I received it already.
Well, we sent you something over 428 because we tried calling your phone. Have you seen it at all, Mr. Ziegler, what he's talking about?
I don't know. I'd have to look and see.
There is a letter from their geotechnical.
Yeah, the memo was in.
That was, yeah. on my
Kristen,
phone.
did you receive that letter?
I did, yes.
When did you?
Yes.
That evening or what?
No. Friday?
Well, for the record, is it a lengthy letter, or is it, can you read it, or what's it say?
I got a copy here.
Well, you want to, well, let's say Kristen, you read it.
Yeah,
I don't want a long
I-
letter. What's it?
Can you give it to Mr. Weber,
I can
please?
print it.
Yeah, it's a long one. Yeah, it is.
It basically just clarifies that the soil pins are considered a wall. So, hey, so it's not a slope.
Dennis to take a look at this.
So their original request to me, to us, to allow them to proceed with something steeper than 2 to 1 slope. I rejected it from the standpoint that I don't even think that I'm capable of doing that. I think the ordinance is fairly clear that it says under no circumstances shall a slope greater than 2 to 1 be permitted. So they went back and we had some follow-up conversations. The soil pins that they're proposing are classified as a wall retaining structure. In that case, it's a wall, it's not a slope.
So therefore, we don't have to worry about it, is what you're saying.
They've addressed my concerns. They clarified the geotechnical report that was kind of vague as to classification of soil pins. And that's what the purpose of the memo was, to clarify that they are classified as a wall.
All right, okay, so. And I'm just looking at the cell that we have in front of the grading situation. We do have a rate compliance review from your firm about this,
Not about this particular case.
because it says
Asking for the geotechnical report, and then some back and forth about.
everything else is, and again, I'm just looking at this, the township ordinance. It says the township engineer shall present, excuse me,
I think we also requested to receive.
so
Yeah.
they're in compliance then.
If it's no longer a waiver and it's now a wall, then we don't. The only thing we're waiting on is the.
Sewage?
Well, Kristen, I don't like that. What are we waiting on? What are we
The
waiting for?
sewage, the holding tank agreement and the sewage,
So your stuff, your materials are incomplete? They aren't completed?
We can't get the holding tank permit until we have the agreement with the township, so. We're working.
You mean,
And we respectfully request that it be conditioned upon getting that because we did find out we do not need sewer planning module approval. So it's basically administrative. So we'd ask that it be conditioned upon the issuance of that permit.
who is it?
Their attorney.
Oh, okay, I didn't know she was on there.
I missed the first.
What did you say? Yeah, excuse me, I shouldn't talk that way. Please repeat what you said.
We would request that because we do not need DEP planning, this is an administrative action by the sewer council that we would request that it be a condition of the plan approval since the holding tank agreement is administrative in nature. So since we don't need any DEP approval for that, we just asked if that be a condition of approval as opposed to holding up the project.
Okay.
So I know we did the agreement, we sent it over. You sent it over to RC Cassidy Sewage Council?
Well, no, Charlotte has two versions. She wants us to compare them. And
Okay.
I talked to Brian and I said I'd send it to him first thing tomorrow, so it's compared to.
And I'll carry it over to Mr. Cassidy after I drop off a copy at Freedom Transit.
So they're asking for conditional approval, they're asking for approval subject to submitting and receiving or executing an agreement between the township and them concerning a commercial holding tank. This is not a residential, it's a commercial holding tank. Correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, if you guys want to make a motion to table, that's up to you. That's your decision. You have, if I'm correct, we have until what, July 22nd to follow up on this?
Until the July 22nd meeting, would be the 90 days from that.
It could still be approved next month.
Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable. You're asking me to approve something that I haven't seen. And the same with the engineered wall. You said it's right in our silo, but we should have a report from our engineer to
Well, that's-
us that says what they want to do is okay, and we don't have that.
Well, according to your application procedure, you're supposed to get some type of report in terms of grading, saying that everything's copacetic with the engineer. And that starts with the pre-application, your initial preliminary application, and also your final application. And I think this nail wall situation came to my attention at our last planning commission meeting, but it's up to you whether you want to table it or whether you want to go forward. If that's your decision.
Rob, are you happy that they've met all five that's on here? The evaluations, floor plan, geotechnical report, written waiver request for the one-to-one slope and the holding tank permit. I understand that. Other than the sewage. Because she's saying that they can't do anything with the sewage, if I heard her right, until they get the permit for the temporary holding tank.
Right, that's why we think it's appropriate to give a condition that will help us follow up with our grant funding and make sure that everything is in place for all the permits. Because we can't move forward anyway unless they issue that. So I think having that as a condition would be appropriate.
So if we table this, we'll still be looking at the same thing next month.
No, you'll have everything.
She's
approved.
shaking her head, yeah.
But you'll have everything approved and in front of you, and your engineer would have had time to review everything, and your attorney.
Hold on. What's this do to your getting approvals and grants?
So once we can get the plan at least locked in, knowing that the township has administrative issues, we can let PennDOT know to make sure all the funds are allocated for the grant, which it has some time of the essence at this point, but certainly a conditional approval locks in the layout of the plan. It lets us know that we have administrative things that will allow us to get whatever we need to do to post any letter of credit or whatever Mr. Makel and I have to work out from a developer's agreement standpoint. We can get that all in place while we finish up the administrative requirements.
So if we just say, before we ask Philip, what do we need to do here if we would pass a motion to go ahead with it?
Well,
What needs to be included in that motion?
Well, it would be a motion to approve it subject to specific condition. Again, it would be that there be a holding tank agreement executed with the appropriate bond, insurance, and all the appropriate fees being paid by, I'll call it the developer for lack of better words, that's how we say it. And that agreement and that those conditions be to the sole satisfaction of the township, because I deal with holding tanks and they do malfunction every so often. So that would be to the sole satisfaction of the township. And then basically a developer's agreement would be something next, but not anything against these folks sitting in front of me or Ms. Nagy, I've seen too many people getting burnt over the years. So if you want to make a motion to approve it, subject to the specific condition that there be a holding tank agreement entered into between the township and developer, comma, the appropriate fees be paid, comma, that the appropriate bond be put in place, comma, and that the appropriate trying to think, an application fee, and plus that the agreement be done to the sole satisfaction of the township supervisors.
Did you get all
But
that?
again, if there's a motion to table.
Well,
I
that
thought-
stops it. But Mr. Ziegler, did you get all just in case it goes that way?
I got it.
You know, that's what's got this township in trouble in the past. We
Right, that includes the agreement.
we approve things subject to things being done, but nobody ever follows up and does it. And we're trying to get the ship back on the right path. If we're truly trying to do that, you know what? Table it. We come back next month. If Dennis and Rob is satisfied, everything's right. I just don't want to get the taxpayers in a position that they're going to be responsible if something's wrong.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Along those lines, you can't formally approve the plan until we have the holding tank. You can't sign the plan. We can't record it. But what your conditional approval will allow is for us to seek financing and to close on that financing. In accordance with the PMPC, when asked for a conditional approval to facilitate financing, it is within your ability to do
That holds you up, by the way.
that will not hold us up. If you give us a conditional approval, we can work on our financing while we work on getting the holding tank permit.
We got you.
You can't.
Right.
And we can't record it until you have the holding tank permit.
And you have to understand, we can't approve that agreement
Mhm.
until we have a public meeting.
Correct, but at least we can seek from PennDOT whatever financing we need so that you will have your bonds, your insurance, all of those things in place. So it's kind of a chicken and the egg situation. If we got that conditional approval tonight, we absolutely cannot record the plan. No permits can be issued, but it will allow us to get the money that Mr. Makel is suggesting, which I agree with, for bonding, insurance, all of those things. So we will be able to do that in the interim to resubmit those agreements to you to get the plan for recording.
Okay, George, you have any comments?
No, sir.
Russ,
That's up to you.
comments?
Yeah, no, I'm
Anybody?
staying.
All right, you want to make a,
Yeah, I made the motion to table it.
okay, need a second, please.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Motion is the first and second to table this issue. Roll call vote, Mr. Ziegler.
Mr. Rowan,
No.
Mr. Grego,
No.
Mr. Murphy.
And I'll vote yes, I'm voting for my table, right?
If you were voting, a yes would be in favor of the table.
Yeah, I'm voting.
You're
in
voting
favor
to
of
table. You're voting.
Voting to table.
Yeah. That's what I'm.
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
maybe you didn't understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
motion is the
sir-
motion to table. If you, just say, are you making a motion to table? I mean,
Yeah, we've already done that.
Okay.
Okay, now ask each roll call member,
I'm sorry.
which
That's
way you want to
okay.
go.
Yes,
To
table, to
Okay,
table.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Bull,
Yes.
and Mr. Weber.
No. The table passes 3-2. Okay, sorry, your motion, table. Okay. Okay, let's. Letter D, motion to approve the integration of approved changes into the fire collective bargaining agreement. Want to give a briefing on that, or you want the chief to give a briefing, Mr. Ziegler?
I don't think we've heard enough from the chief.
Okay, Mr. Ziegler, give a little summary, will you please?
We already approved this in January.
Yeah. The same thing.
Yes.
Did we already approve this?
So the process is at the January meeting, the supervisors approved all the changes that the negotiating parties came to an agreement on. So the only thing was left to do at that point was to take those approved changes, integrate those into the language of the contract, which you have in your packet. So then you have a packet. This is really a formality at this point because all of the things that you've already approved are in the document nothing more. So because it's an agreement, we put it in front of the supervisors for your vote. So we have this evening. You want to add anything, Chief?
So there was a tentative agreement, Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
You're stuck with it no matter what the circumstances.
All he
I
did was
shouldn't say
combined
stuck.
it. He combined 3 agreements into
Yeah,
one, but we already approved the 3.
So all you have to do is make a motion to approve. and that's it.
Okay, motion to approve.
Second.
First, second.
Are there any changes, Mr. Ziegler, any changes at all from what we approved in January?
Chief?
Any changes, chief?
None,
Everything's the same.
zero.
Everything's the same.
We had, no, I think we should, there was a change regarding page 17.
You know, we're gonna look. I said, you know, we're gonna look.
I mean, I want you to look. The answer to your question is yes, with the exception of page 17. We had a grievance that was filed regarding call out, callback procedures. You want to address that, Chief? You want me to try and go through that?
Go ahead, chief.
Yeah, there was a grievance filed towards the beginning of this year in terms of callback. So when a firefighter is about to begin a shift, they have the opportunity to respond for a callback. So for example, if it's 10 minutes prior to a start of a shift, if a call is upgraded to an all call, the way the contract's written, they could potentially receive 2 hours of overtime, even though their shift starts in 10 minutes. The township at that point didn't necessarily agree with that language. We had been administering it differently over the past 2 years. The union filed a grievance. We met with the union leadership and were able to come to a settlement on that grievance, in which essentially if it's within 30 minutes from the start of a shift, they only get 30 minutes of time worked. So it's a significant savings to the township, and we're actually very appreciative.
been settled.
So rather than do an MOU to codify that particular aspect, when we integrated the language, we added that language into this.
Correct.
So it's technically slightly different than what you saw in January,
And
isolated to that topic.
that was at the suggestion of Labor Council,
Yeah.
because it would be cheaper to integrate that as part of this rather than to do a separate MOU in addition to all the work that we had just done with this.
Okay. Is that it? Okay, thanks. chief.
Thanks.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Letter E, consideration of request by a transitional employment consultant for a waiver of the fee to use the pavilion at Community Park on Thursday, June 5th, 2025, from 9:30 to 2. Would you give a brief description on that one?
Yeah, so the Transitional Employment Corporation out of Washington, PA, would like to use the pavilion at Community Park on Thursday, June 5th, from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. They've done this for several years in the past to hold their graduation ceremony for their population of students. This year, we formalized it with these requests. That's why it's in front of you this evening. And so you could see the rate for residents is $165. So that's what you would be waiving. If you
Is
were to
this-
grant this app.
Is this a special needs group?
It is.
They're life skilled children. Life skilled.
Okay, thank you very much. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, thank you, Mr. Grego. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Number 10, motion to adjourn.
So,
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Need a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rowan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone, for attending.